The following video contains spoilers. We suggest watching the episodes alone in the dark. Oh, frabjous day, galoo galay, your favorite cat is here to play. Greetings and salutations, Wolfpack. Catastrophe is going down the rabbit hole and back into the DC universe. Today, we're talking about obscure DC supervillain Jervis Tetch.
The Mad Hatter.
The Mad Hatter is by far one of Batman's most underrated and psychologically dangerous foes ever. The Mad Hatter was once a brilliant neuroscientist named Jervis Tetch, an eccentric, socially awkward chap who, much like every other Batman baddie, was mistreated by the cruel world and eventually snapped at society by transforming into his favorite Alice in Wonderland character, the Mad Hatter. Like a lot of DC legends, Jervis has had a decent amount of different versions of him over the years, but almost all of them share a fanboy obsession with Wonderland, leading to many clever storylines and wild misadventures during the character's lifetime. However, as fun as the Mad Hatter is as a devilish fiend, not too many people are familiar with Mr. Tetch's origin story. Gosh, I think the last time this dude ever had his full-blown beginning explored was way back on Batman the Animated Series. It has really been that long. The character has naturally popped up in other media, but not too many people are aware of how he grew so mad. Which is a darn shame, since he is a wondrous villain, up there with the other Batman rogues gallery. The guy has his fun over-the-top persona, along with his deadly intelligence, great skills at hypnosis, Joker-level trick weaponry, a sweet hat collection, and of course, his horrifying yet perfect understanding of the mind. While this guy is far from a brawler or a superpowered god, he has his wicked cleverness being his sharpest weapon under his hat, which has harmed the Dark Knight more times than people give credit for, making him a worthy bastard among the Batman enemies.
Oh dear, what have I done? Oh, that's right. I killed the Batman.
But getting back on track, as cool as Hatter is, he's still not too well known. However, a little amateur filming studio known as Art Is a Lie actually devised a fan film currently on YouTube, which at last offers a live-action, in-depth look at the secret origin of the Mad Hatter. And we're here to take a look at it ourselves to see if it's as good as some Bat fans claim it is. This fan film, titled Jervis, acts as a sort of live-action remake of his famous Batman episode, Mad as a Hatter, while also having the filmmakers put their own spin on the characters to make it stand out as their own. And as a fan of this character, and heck, Batman in general, I was curious to look through this looking glass to gaze upon this wonder. And boy howdy was I not disappointed. However, we're here to take a closer look at this project to see if it's indeed a worthy tale that can please all fans with its take on the sinister Psycho and pass for a good DC plot. So, grab your places at the table and get out your teacups because this is going to be one loony party. Was this YouTube fan film a valuable prize of ghoulish galore only a magician could pull out of their hat? Or should it be off with its head? Well, time to jump down the rabbit hole and see. This is our wacky review on the original Batman villain fan film, Jervis. So, our movie opens up at Disneyland, while beautiful music plays in the back, where we see our main character, Jervis Tetch, and his girlfriend Alice, of course, having a romantic evening together. In nearly all of Hatter's plotlines, he had some lustful desire to maintain a magical romance with a lady named Alice, fueling his Wonderland delusions, but every time it always led to grim tragedy. Something this film won't let us down in. But this is one of the few interpretations which actually had Jervis and Alice together before his villain path, as we see how happy they are together. But, you guessed it, heads will roll real shortly. This establishing shot is a gorgeous work of art, which will contrast those Gotham nightmares.
Mark 5 will allow for an unprecedented spread of abilities around the world.
So you can make people do things. Can you make people do things they don't want to do?
They already invented something that could do that a long time ago. It's called money.
We then get a brief montage showing us Jervis's regular life. We see his nice home, his Wonderland fanboy toys, and where he works as a neurotechie at Wayne Enterprises, devising what'll become his mind control devices for Wayne's military branch. If you're unfamiliar with this guy, Tetch loved studying the power of assuming direct control. Hey, wait a tick. Didn't Bruce veto this idea?
Tampering with people's brainwaves, mind manipulation. It just raises too many questions.
I guess since it's not Jim Carrey building them, they're okay now. But not too okay, since the device has some technical difficulties. So, I'm a tad mixed on this part. I'm not a huge fan of how the film suggests that the mind control devices might have fried Jervis's brain, implying that this is what drove him mad. I don't like the idea that Jervis went insane from his own mind tech blowing a fuse on him, since I always thought it was better told how Mad Hatter caused his own downfall through his poor choices, and the need to control others. Ultimately, Hatter is a gifted guy who could be noble, but it's his own selfishness and controlling attitude which led him down the dark side.
I'll cut that cowl off your neck before you'll take her. I've waited my whole lonely life for her.
Then all you've waited for is a puppet. A soulless little doll.
It didn't have to be this way. You made me do this to her.
Granted, the movie actually does leave this ambiguous if Jervis did go nuts when the circuits fried him, or if this was just a turning point for his villain career. So, I don't think it harms the story that much. We cut to the present day, where we finally get to meet the current Jervis, a shy, awkward little bugger who dresses like David Tennant, but having trouble reconnecting with his ex-girlfriend. Yep, he and Alice broke up during an anime time skip, and instead of trying to woo her, he's attempting to reignite their old flame. Sadly, Jervis still has issues trying to bond with people.
Did you forget your key? Yeah, it seems impossible to get in. Impossible, because nothing's impossible. Okay.
As I said prior, this episode is part live-action remake of the Mad Hatter's debut episode on B-Man Platinum, which the filmmakers honestly do quite an impressive job at recreating. I seriously love how good this fan flick perfectly captures iconic scenes from the Conroy classic, because they are incredible. This YouTube fan film is already a better live-action remake than every Disney one. And just like in the episode, Jervis can't get with Alice because he's friend-zoned.
Oh no! I'm in the friend zone!
Much like in the cartoon, Alice is an innocent, nice girl who does care for Jervis, just not in a romantic way. Her naive attempts at building a friendship with this poor guy add that depressing layer of how she and Jervis could have been something close, since she truly did want to befriend him. But their lives would be forever damaged due to things taking a turn for the worse.
The police are on their way. Everything's going to be all right.
No, it's not.
Alice has a new boyfriend now, so their ship is sunk. She tries being gentle to the guy, yet Jervis conceals his madness. Gotta give mad props to Jervis's actor here, since the dude has some serious acting chops at playing a more unnerving yet subdued Mad Hatter. This guy plays Jervis as a nearly Joaquin Phoenix Joker-esque loner who is just so beaten down and angry that you're waiting for that moment when he blows. The movie does a terrific job building up to Jervis going mad. Speaking of which, Jervis instantly decides to take control when he betrays his boss lady with the tech chip and sends her away as he jacks all the mind tech for some mischief. Not gonna lie, I was disappointed that the female boss never came back as the Queen of Hearts thug like she did in the cartoon. I know it's trying to be unique and all, but that felt like a huge missed opportunity. Boo! We immediately get a villain montage of Jervis making his costume and perfecting his mind devices for longer use. It almost feels like a good old-fashioned Christian Bale montage, but for the bad guy.
I wouldn't want people to gossip. Well, if you insist.
This scene is pretty cool as it is chilling, but one thing that always kind of bothered me is, why is he naked? Yeah, Jervis is shirtless and possibly nude while constructing his sensitive electronics. It's just so bizarre.
Why are you naked in my house?
Why aren't you?
You're all right,
Jervis. At long last, Jervis dons his sweet Hatter suit to ask Alice out once more. I get it, like in the tune.
Much more than simply nice. I love music and adventures and journeys. I have a world of worldliness and a hearty heart. All I can share with you, if you just come with me. All you have to do is trust me, as you did on our date. Come with me, you know it's fate.
Shockingly, she says no, since she's moved on, and begs Jervis to do so too for his own health. But that's not a happy answer, so he has the Tweedles escort her. Oh, sweet! The Tweedles, straight out of the canon Batman comics, are at last featured in a Mad Hatter story, serving as his elite goons. I know it's strange to think, but D-Free and Dumfree Twee, aka Tweedledee and Tweedledum, are also underused Batman foes who don't always get the spotlight in DC. Heck, most of the time, they don't always work for Jervis. They were usually used as the Joker's workers. Yeah, the Joker used them more than their fellow Wonderland villain. So it's hella awesome seeing them as Jervis's brainwashed bouncers. Fun fact, the Tweedles aren't even twins. It's just one guy. Yes, really. The Tweedles are one guy digitally green screened together to make it look like they are both there. One actor did all this stuff. Truly an amazing feat. I wish I could get that crazy genius like these guys, but I won't. Ah! So, Jervis forces Alice on a date, where he brainwashes her into cosplaying as Alice from the Lewis Carroll books, and they recreate the tea party scene as a hot romance.
Kinky.
But uh-oh, Alice has an allergic reaction to gingerbread, forcing Jervis to briefly release control to get a hold of her EpiPen. Although this is a very minimal scene, it establishes the harsh reality that Jervis doesn't really know his flawless crush Alice as well as he thinks he does, by showing us that he loves the shadow of her and doesn't always have full control over everything. A small piece of character work that carries so much meaning. Well done, directors. Alice informs that her boyfriend Billy has her emergency meds, so he mind wipes her and sends out his goons to fetch her lover. And what do you know? The boyfriend Billy is that guy who Jervis bumped into at the apartment door from earlier.
Hey, what a coinky-dink.
We follow boyfriend Billy biking home in these pretty epic Joker-inspired shots. I love the camera work in this movie, since for a silly YouTube short film, this is visually stunning. It looks so much like the Phoenix Joker movie that it's uncanny how great this is. The shots in the dark tunnel being my favorite because they are so scary. But the Tweedles have come to invite him to the party. Though when things look dour, guess who shows up?
This is not the time to get scared, man.
Boo.
Where are you?
Here.
Buzz, it's the bite guy.
It's Batman, Toad. Remember, respect our enemies.
Holy cool cameos, Batman! It's the Dark Knight! They honestly got Batman himself to appear in this Mad Hatter origin story to save the day. And for a low-budget fan project, he is super cool. I know this is basically Jervis's story arc, but the producers do a grand job at treating the Dark Knight with a dark, mysterious gravitas and epic amazingness this hero deserves. While the actor's voice is nothing special, he does carry Batman with an intimidating nature, making him a sweet approach to Brucey. Also, I love that they made him look like Michael Keaton, cause if there's any live-action Batman who we should always admire, it's Michael frickin' Keaton.
Who's Batman to you?
Christian Bale.
Michael Keaton is Batman to me.
I'm Batman.
No, dude, I'm Batman.
Batman's role is naturally to stop the villain, save the girl, and save the day, as he finds the assault scene and sets off into the night.
That is awesome!
Jervis continues living out his Wonderland fantasy date, now with boyfriend Billy acting as his March Hare butler, punishing him to serve him and his Alice.
My specialty.
Go to hell, Jervis.
Jervis has clearly grew even more unhinged, and disturbingly keeps his charade going on with equally creepy visuals. At this point, I truly believe this actor has totally formed into the Mad Hatter we all know and love now, since these scenes capture Jervis's control freak nature and his delusions without fail. While yes, Jervis, like all of Batman's best villains, can be viewed as sympathetic at one point, ultimately, his desires to have his way are what sent him down the evil road. The Mad Hatter is sick of not being seen as the center of the party, and wants his kind of fun. Jervis needs to have his way, since it's what makes him happy. The Mad Hatter wants to know and possess anything that entices him, so he can have his sick, twisted fun, and will stop at nothing to achieve it.
I'll have to look into refining the neural interface. Oh, the good news, the best news really, is that it works. You all listen. Maybe not as well as you should, but it's a start. That's always been the trouble, though, hasn't it? No one ever wanted to hear what Jervis had to say. He might as well have been invisible. But now? Oh, now you'll have to pay attention. Because you won't have a choice.
I have to give credit. The short film has a strong grasp of what made Jervis such a deep, compelling villain. I really love it. But if the subtle writing doesn't win you over, don't worry. The creepy visuals are no slouch either.
A very merry young birthday.
To me?
To you! A very merry young birthday.
For me?
For you!
Can't sue us, Disney, if the clips are out of whack. But, Batman crashes the tea party and finally delivers the first epic death battle between him and Jervis Tetch.
Very rude to sit down without being invited!
Justice needs no invitation.
I still can't tell whether this guy's bat voice is worse or better than Christian Bale's.
Swear to me!
I'll pick better. We then get a truly nice Tim Burton-ish fight scene between Bats and the Wonderland gang. It's so epic how similar this style is to Keaton stunts. I dig these homages. But Jervis ain't losing this match. That did nothing.
Don't!
Batman breaks Alice's mind control, so Jervis grabs his mallet and flies the tart out of here, as B-Man trails him through the dark forest. Oh, I get it. Titanic. Alice is freed, but oh no, her boyfriend Billy is still under control, and his mind snaps, revealing that Jervis is still using him. So, it was never shown to us, but if you can put it together, the Mad Hatter always keeps his controller in his hat. Some people were confused by boyfriend Billy melting down like this, but only a hardcore Hatter fan would figure this out before the movie acknowledges it. We cut to Jervis hiding in the Blair Witch's house, but there's no escape from the Bat Dad. Simultaneously, boyfriend Billy is controlled to act crazy and violent, while Alice desperately tries to bring him back to reality. As you can tell, Jervis is trying one last-ditch attempt to ruin their relationship forever, since, let's be honest, Jervis Tetch, while certainly tragic at times, is still the ultimate incel.
You brainwashed and kidnapped a woman who rejected you.
Batman forced me to do it. He was going to take her away from me. I had no choice.
You could have respected her wishes and left her alone.
I'd have killed her first!
Sadly, for Jervis, he's met a dead end, trapped between a bat and a hard place. Batman pummels the baddie and finally calls him out on his atrocities, where Jervis monologues about his sad life.
She belongs to herself.
Her heart is mine. She made that choice. I made her mind accord with her heart's voice.
You're a madman. You should have waited for her to decide on her own.
And this grave sin for which I should atone? Is it a crime to hate being alone? Being patient is very good advice. And being patient is, well, as playing nice. But the waiting, it made me curious. Her iciness, it made me furious.
Go to hell, Jervis.
To the film's credit, I do admire how it's morally gray over how much we can sympathize or hate Jervis at this point. Again, it's very much like the Joker movie. The villain protagonist was tragic, but eventually they gave into their dark side, so only the audience can debate how much they pity or despise them by the finale. It's the type of writing only the greatest of all Batman stories ever achieve.
You're a champion! Congratulations, my boy! Here's that bonus!
But in a final screw you towards everyone, Jervis uses his mind control to force Billy to kill Alice, since if he can't have her, no one can. Jeepers, Jervis, you couldn't just let her move on?
I'd have killed her first!
And this nightmare ends with boyfriend Billy stabbing his lover at Tetch's urging, solidifying Jervis's transformation into the Mad Hatter, as flashbacks show his lost innocence. as nothing more but a memory.
Look back on this, and you will find how madness lurks in every mind.
And yet he's still a better Mad Hatter than Johnny Depp. Anywho, that was the grand downer ending to Jervis, but a rise for the sharply dressed mastermind. And it was as delectable as a warm spot of tea. This short film was astounding. I was shocked at how phenomenal this YouTube fan video on an obscure DC villain was, since it blew my hat right off. Jervis is a DC showcase level tale which brings one of Batman's greatest enemies to life and fully explores the dangers and depth this man truly embodies. Exactly like Never Hike Alone, this was obviously designed by folks who cared about the character and his world. There's behind-the-scenes features also on their channel, demonstrating how much hard work was poured into this, and I gotta say, it was all a blooming success. The Mad Hatter hasn't been this scary since his time on the Arkham games. The guy portraying him really got into Tetch's head. Now, he's no Rowdy McDowell, but for a total newbie, he sure made a grisly first impression. It pays homage to Paul Dini's excellent draft, but it managed to surpass it in some areas and grow into its own superb thing as well. The performances in this are incredible, as every actor is clearly giving their best. The writing is ultra smart, the action, while nothing special, is quite intense. The cinematography is masterful and in the same league as Joker. The dark imagery is gnarly, the soundtrack rocks, the villain's lifetime is impressively real, and best of all is that it gave the Mad Hatter character the justice he deserved. Each and every one of Batman's villains are legendary and have deep stories to tell, except for Condiment King. So Art is a Lie successfully accomplished something most Hollywood films wish they could win. A good villain origin film. Art is a Lie? More like Art is Sky High, cause they were so talented. I've always thought the Mad Hatter was one of Batman's deadliest foes like Joker and Two-Face, and stories like this confirm it. Since the Jervis movie is a stupendous gaze through the eyes of madness.
You're all right,
Jervis. So, I grant this insane fan film a gold icon and a perfect score. Oh yeah, 10 out of 10, I loved it. I highly recommend this for all Bat fans to see. This movie is free on YouTube, so you should all definitely pay it a visit. There are allegedly plans for even more villain origin shorts from this channel, so I'm curious to see how that goes. But as for this treat, it's truly a delightful love letter to fans of this fearsome foe. Jervis is a fantabulous film you'll really want to tip your hat to once it serves you a taste of wonder. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, or just say hi, while this Cheshire Cat bids you goodbye.
Jervis.